Nate, what's one thing you know about Sophocles?
He wrote more than 120.
How many?
120.
More than 120. All right, so author of 120 plus plays. Remember how many are still around?
7.
Maddie, anything else to add about them?
Yeah, the third actor painted sets of forest topic.
Okay, so things that he added, you said the third actor on stage, painted sets, what was the third one? Larger chorus. So he added extra actor, painted sets, and had a larger chorus on stage. Anybody else anything for him we don't already have?
24-time champion of playwright of the year.
That's a lot of heavyweight championship belts that he would be carrying around.
Yeah, I bet he was like all the time bragging about it. He's like, yo guys.
He probably did, in all seriousness, because that would put him basically at celebrity status. Within Greece, like if Sophocles showed up at the party, it would be like having LeBron James show up or whatnot. Well, he's actually coming here. This wouldn't necessarily be information about Sophocles, but he's 24-time champion, playwright of the year, because they would have these contests every year within Greece. Anyone remember, we mentioned this within the notes. It wasn't something we really talked about in the play. Who are they honoring with the championship or with the competition? We have the god Dionysus. So,
Wait, is that the god of wine?
god, you said of
Wine.
pretty much. It's not technically wine, but it would be the grape harvest because wine, and then also like other foods like grape leaves, oils, and things like that are so important. So all of this would be done to honor Dionysus, which grape harvest god. This one, Dionysus. So Dionysus. Okay. Emily, for the Parados down to the Exodus, one of those you want to give us a definition for? Okay, so this is the entrance. So entrance song of the chorus, which is actually going to be happening here at the end of the prologue. And the Parados, there would be one other kind of definition that we could go along with it as to how it gets its name, because the chorus itself is going to be entering the stage on two aisles to the side of the theater, and that is called the Parados. So as the chorus is entering, they're going to be chanting their song as they're coming down, pretty much like that, for the crowd to hear. So this is getting its name from the side aisles used by the chorus. So named from the side aisles used by the chorus as they would enter. Tyler, prologue down through Exodus, one of those?
The prologue is the original portion of the play
So we have the opening portion of the play. I missed what you said after that, though.
It
Sets the scene, sets the stage for what's going on. Using the invisible ink marker. You okay? Get it out of you. Alex, what do you have for scenes? Yeah, basically this is where you're actually going to have the action of the play takes place. So the action, so to speak, of the play. Josh, the odes?
The choral passage alternating with episodes or scenes of the plot.
So choral passage that alternates with the scenes. So if you have 5 scenes in a play, you'll have 5 odes. If you have 2 scenes in a play, you're going to have 2 odes, assuming that you're doing a Greek-style play. So choral passage that alternates with the scenes, and if it's a choral passage, it's going to be sung, chanted, that kind of stuff that we'd have for it. Gavin, what do you got for Exodus? All right, so this is going to be the concluding portion. And not technically part of the definition, but the Exodus is when like the moral of the story is going to be reinforced. So everything that has happened through here, and then will get kind of encapsulated or reinforced in the end with the Exodus. So the moral lesson is reinforced. I'll leave that part there so you can still see. So concluding portion of the play. For defining the following terms, technically the third one down here shouldn't be tragic character, should be hero. I don't think that'll change too much so far as what you would have had as definitions, but just so we don't get confused with it, not tragic character, looking for tragic hero that we would have here. Tommy, how about any of these 4? Hubris, fate, tragic hero, stickamithia, what do we know about them?
There's lots of confidence.
Yeah, so it's basically synonym for having too much arrogance. So it's confidence to the extreme, it's arrogance where it's going to lead to one's downfall. So arrogance causing one's downfall. All right? Julie, of the other 3? Anyone that you want?
Phase development of events beyond personal.
Okay, and you said you were doing that one for fate. So, what was the first part of it? Beyond?
The development of events beyond person's control.
Okay. So, development of events beyond a person's control. Nate, we're going over the exam review, so I'll check yours here in a moment. Okay. So fate, development of events beyond a person's control. So far as Greek plays, who's in charge of one's fate? Who determines your fate?
The playwright. Come on, that's pretty right.
Smart Alex.
That's pretty right.
Josh,
Yes.
2 options here. You can buy a water bottle off of me for like $5,
I have one.
or you could drink from your own.
It's not my. I'm just. It's like my allergies. I just feel confident.
Okay. Gavin, give him like a good slap on the back every time. Get the cough out of him. Nate, what do you have for tragic hero? I know we're putting you on the spot, but it's fun to do that.
Must be an extraordinary person and have a fall from greatness, has a tragic fall, must experience a movement of realization, and must suffer greatly due to his or her actions or faith.
And you fit that all in one small space.
Yep.
I cannot. So extraordinary person who has a tragic fall due to, I'm kind of paraphrasing yours, due to some fault of his or her own. That fall doesn't mean that necessarily they will die, but there's at least something that would be happening to them. Tommy, what would Oedipus's fault be? specifically picking on you based on earlier answer you gave us. So his hubris, his arrogance is his downfall, so far as thinking that he can change his overall fate. Kara, the word that no one can pronounce. Good job.
Okay. Isn't it like two
Shh,
people?
listen up.
Two people that talk back and forth?
Yeah, so you have characters speaking alternating lines. For the, and I'm going to kind of add a little bit to this. So you got two characters speaking alternating lines. They're just like one lines that are going back and forth, not paragraphs. So characters speaking these alternating lines, they are creating what kind of effect? What are you hoping to do by having this quick pace back and forth, two characters speaking? Suspense, tension, building up to climactic event, something along those lines. So characters speaking alternating lines for the effect of suspense or tension. And this is something that did pop up a few times within the play. When do we have Stigmatia happening within the play? Creon and Oedipus would be having it. Tiresias and Oedipus have it for a little bit. The shepherd and Oedipus definitely have it. You could even go the shepherd and the messenger when the messenger knows what the information is, but the shepherd doesn't want to reveal it. So certainly as you're getting in scenes where there's going to be more conflict coming up, this would be taking place with it. All right. Brief summaries, following characters. Adrian, from like the first 4, I guess we'll go with the first 4. Lay us down to Creon. What would be something for well?
Yeah, I guess it's
Okay. So, former king of Thebes, we know that he is killed by Oedipus, as Adrian said. We also know that he is the father of Oedipus. So, Oedipus was his son, married to Jocasta. Where's he killed? Where the crossroads meet. So you have that fork in the road. So he's killed by Oedipus at the crossroads.
Just kind of knows that he killed someone, like 4 people, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, the shepherd.
What?
The shepherd was like,
What do you mean?
like all the town people with Thebes just kind of knew that he killed like 4 people, just for no reason.
Oh, that Oedipus kills.
Yeah.
Well, when he shows up, I mean, those who would know about it, yes, but very few people would actually know because, I mean, they're going to forget about any issues of his past since he saves them the first time from the Sphinx, which, talking about King Oedipus, we could put that part. Saved Thebes from the Sphinx. But when he he doesn't know, the situation behind Laius's death. As he learns about it, that's when he starts saying to Jocasta, like, oh, wait a minute, I killed somebody. I did indeed murder a person. So at that point, yes, folks are aware of it, but it wouldn't be, Oedipus is here, disregard the fact that he started 14 fights in the lunchroom, last year as a freshman. That doesn't matter. We're not worried about it. That wouldn't be common knowledge. The other thing to keep in mind, Thebes has such a mess in its own right, that right now I don't want to say the last thing they're worried about, that's not priority number 1 based on all the other problems that are going on at the present time.
And everyone.
I think that's a bold statement.
You stole my lunch money.
Then you wouldn't have, if everyone killed everyone, no one would be left.
Round that. I mean, obviously,
Logan, like, whether it be Oedipus, Jocasta, Creon, what would be some stuff we know?
He was the king of Thebes.
For-
King Oedipus.
For Oedipus, okay. So, saved Thebes from the Sphinx. Because of this, becomes king. We'll probably get into this more with Polybus and Merope. As far as what he considers his past, he would say he is from from Corinth. So he would claim to be from Corinth. So becomes king, claims to be from Corinth. I guess maybe one other thing to keep in mind, Oedipus in itself, we know this means swollen foot or swollen ankles. Justice, how about Creon or Yocasta?
For Jocasta, put mother and wife Oedipus.
Yep.
And ex-wife.
So, mother, wife, Oedipus. Ex-wife, I'll put like widow because it's not as if she purposely tries to leave Laius, but widow to King Laius. And while we're dealing with relationships, what would be her relationship to Creon?
Sister.
She is sister to Creon. They are siblings. So sister, or excuse me, yeah, sister. Confusing myself. Jack, how about Creon?
He is Jocasta's sister.
Brother.
I didn't ask him for that.
So brother to Yocasta, which is going to make him the brother-in-law to Oedipus. What's Oedipus's accusation?
That he's trying to
Okay. Oedipus thinks he wants to be king.
He was the temporary king of
And really, where Sophocles was 24-time champion, we could say that Creon is 2-time interim king because he is king in between Laius and Oedipus. And now that Oedipus is no longer the king, he ascends or kind of moves back to the throne at the end of the play. So he's kind of the, when we need a backup king, this is the guy that we're going to go to. Yeah. Now, according to him, does he want to be king? Because he pretty much can enjoy the benefits of the lifestyle without having to deal with the responsibility. Brother to Jocasta, Oedipus accuses him of wanting to take the throne and then interim king twice. Okay. He is firm number 2. Brendan, how about Tiresias, which I misspelled up here?
Tiresias is that blind guy.
Give me a word instead of guy.
Blind man.
Blind prophet.
Seer. Person. Seer.
You could go prophet, seer. There's also another S that you could use. Soothsayer. Keep in mind, just because sometimes folks will get confused with this, he is not the oracle. So the oracle is not this walking embodiment that is Tiresias, but he is one who can interpret what is stated at an oracle and then let folks know about it. So he does not have the ability to see, but that is kind of made up for with his ability to communicate or understand the gods' wishes. Speaking of the oracle, who is sent to the oracle to bring news to Thebes about what they need to do? Creon is the one who goes to the oracle. So Creon brings news from the oracle. Good. Oops. Dylan Polybus.
He is the king of Corinth. He was.
Former king, yep. And the relationship to Oedipus would be his
Like access his father.
Yeah, quote unquote father. I know I'm skipping here. The messenger from Corinth. Mark, we can just go to you. The messenger from Corinth, what news does he bring?
That Oedipus is dead.
Okay, so tells Oedipus of Polybus's death. Initially, how does Oedipus respond to hearing about Polybus's death? Double fist pump. This is good news for the fact that, therefore, I did not kill my father. What other news does the messenger tell Oedipus? You want to just keep going with it?
Oedipus is dead.
Okay, so reveals that Polybus is not Oedipus's father. Good. Queen Merope. Jack. Okay, and mother, therefore, to Oedipus. They,
Could you say for the Corinth messenger that he's the one that brought Oedipus back from?
yes, like as well, not brought him back, but like first took him.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's left as a baby at Citharon, he gets the receives Oedipus from the shepherd, and then yes, the messenger takes him to Polybus. Yeah. Technically, you wouldn't say took him back since he wasn't from there the first time, but not a big deal. Evan, they never say anything, but what do we know about Antigone and Ismene? Thank you, Evan. Evan, we'll let you do the shepherd. These would be Oedipus's daughters.
And sisters.
Yeah.
What is Oedipus's final wish or request of Creon?
That when Leon was taken away, that Creon take care of that.
Right. So essentially, and what you find out in the other plays then is Antigone and Ismene become Creon's daughters. They're understood now. They've been passed over on to Creon. So they are the daughters of Oedipus, and then Creon promises to watch them. And later on, Creon has Antigone killed.
Whoa.
But that's a whole other point.
Why?
The Oedipus has two sons / brothers, Eteocles and Polynesius. They are fighting for control of Thebes. One sides with Creon, one goes, no, Creon should not be king. I'm in the line of Oedipus, I should be king. They both die in battle.
That sucks.
The whole family's cursed. Polynesius is the one who sides with Creon. He gets full burial rights. You do everything traditional. Eteocles, his body is left on the battlefield to rot. Creon will not honor the body. Antigone goes, no, you can't do that. That's my brother. So ultimately, she is not put to death. She is jailed. And when she is in prison, she takes care of things the same way that her mother did. And hangs herself. Ismene doesn't do much. She takes time to stay. She supports Antigone, but she's like, no, this isn't the battle we want to be part of. She comes off more as like I hate saying a weak character, but she's not. Yeah, more scared.
She's the actual smart one.
She's the one who lives,
Yeah, smart one. Which is a rare thing.
which is a rare thing for the family.
Is that
Yes.
just in the second one?
No, that's the third. Now the weird thing is Antigone's the first of the 3 plays to be made. So they kind of go backwards. The second one is called OedipusExamReviewA. So that's where Oedipus is exiled, and basically it's his ultimate death. Antigone shows up there too, like to care for him, but he ultimately dies. And then, so in some ways you could go, all three plays kind of build around Antigone. She's introduced in Oedipus Rex, but then she develops in the other ones.
Do you want this notes?
I'll pick it up from you. Evan, what's the big news for the shepherd?
Is he the guy that found this?
Yep. So saves baby Oedipus, and then based on what Nate was kind of saying before, it gives Oedipus to the messenger to go to Corinth. Gives the baby to what is the other way that the shepherd's involved with Oedipus as well? In regards to
Doesn't he tell him about his own food?
well, you mean like so far as your wife can tell you about that?
I don't know. That's just what I had.
Like he's the one that conclusively reveals what Oedipus's origin is, you know. So he's the one that this is the final kind of cements that yes, this is who you are. And within our play, he is. Dependent upon the translation, sometimes they make it another character, others they think that it's the same person. This would also be the person who witnesses Oedipus killing Laius and then runs away and wants to go off to the fields, and then happens to be the one who also kind of saves him from earlier on. So the shepherd also witnesses Oedipus killing Laius. He was that one person who was able to kind of escape and get away. Last thing that we'll cover today, Mio, who's the Karagas?
Like the speakers for the meeting and like
Yep. Pretty much the head speaker for the chorus, and therefore the head speaker for pretty much the public opinion, the public viewpoint of what would be happening in Thebes. The voice of, yeah. And did you say reason too? Or okay, yeah, voice of the people, and tends to be the voice of reason. So it's an objective voice. It's not one that'll be biased. Now it might be believing one side over the other, but tends to be pretty reasonable. So the head member of the chorus, and then voice of the people. Assuming we have the time tomorrow, we're going to finish off going over the review packet. I want to do that number one. If we have time, then we'll finish the little survey that they have for us to do, and I'll come back and check. It's I forward 50 You're not writing another essay
yeah.
yet.
Oh, okay.